Life is a game, and you have to learn how to play this game. With curiosity, you learn the rules, and with creativity, you change the rules. Mi nombre es Juan Pablo, me dicen Dumpa, y me gusta entender como el mundo, nuestra relación con la tecnología, con el ambiente, un poco investigar. For me, playing is being focused, being like curious and creative, and like I want to know how this works. I want to change it, I want to see what happens. I want to try new things. I want to sometimes use what I know to go ahead, to gain something. So for me, playing is being conscious, is being there, being connected, being understandable of the rules of what is going on.
If that's play, then what is work for you? Because this sounds like work for a lot of people, to be focused and trying to create something.
But they don't do it, Many people at work are
on autopilot, maybe?
Autopilot. They play ping pong with Gmail, They send an email, wait for it to bounce back, and they send it again, and they do play ping pong with email, but they stay in this game, If you see work as a game, okay, you go because it's a game. What's new? What are the rules? What can I change? What can I do? How do I get something new? How do I learn something new? So for me, work is a game, and I don't like the word work as many people use it, because for me, work is movement. Work is what forces do. Forces to work, and work only exists when you stop doing it. If you go to physics, like work only exists when you finish applying the force. So doing a work, like when you're applying forces or you're making movement, you are not doing work. Work happens when this ends. So I don't like the word work. Neither power is the same. It exists only when the game ends. The bees are really excited today. They like playing games also.
You grew up, how you're growing up made you go to academics, university, education was important. Your family, I assume, are an educated family, so they also influenced you to do that. And then how you decided to go out of the path that is known as a path. You decided to leave all of this out and design your own, or create your own way of living, which is very interesting and brave at so many contexts.
It's not that you want to do it differently. It's that you kind of become that way. I don't believe that I've like consciously said, okay, I'm bored of this, I'm going to go there, and it's like most people think this happens. You know, it's like, okay, I'm bored of my job, I'm just gonna quit, I'm going to go to countryside. It's not how it happens. It's not how it works. It's more you're there and then someone just like kicks the system a bit and you move towards there, and another kick and you move towards there, and it's like small things that are just like moving that boat towards a different direction. And you get to understand when you come out of a system, you can observe differently. Something I learned in at university and at my PhD is how the observation process creates the world. And you are the observer, and how you observe, you create. And the process of observation makes you the system itself. You know, it's like this is a lot of cybernetics of cybernetics. It's like you have to, and quantum mechanics, the observer is the system, you know, and you cannot go out of the system. So if you change system by world, so it's the way you observe the world, you become the world. So it's a matter of observing and how you observe, and me observing how I observe gives me control of the world, of my world. Can we go and put the bread in the oven?
Oh yes, let's do it.
Yes, it's ready.
We're just warming up.
All fluffy. Some people play the game of having time, or play the game of productivity, you know, and some people play the game of having money, or some people but I've noticed that those are not the most important games. You know, it's not like you shouldn't play for having time. You know, it's the same as money, you know, it's like okay, I need time, I need time. You're suffering because you're never gonna have enough time. You know, if you play I need money, you're always going to play and suffer because you don't have enough money. But if you don't pay attention to them, they kind of disappear. It's like they feed on your attention. Money and time feed on your attention, and if you don't give them attention, they will just like I used to be like really a productivity freak, and now if you're not like playing the productivity game, you can be very productive. You know, if you're not playing the money game, you can live in abundance. But it's not like you need money for abundance, or you need time to make stuff. It's like you just make stuff. You know, you just get things. You don't need the money, you don't need the time. You need to do things, you need to move, you need to transform things, you need to connect, you need to interact. And time and money are useful, but they shouldn't be the protagonist of the story, of the game. They can go like underground, and you can do lots of stuff and without having to pay too much attention to money and time.
It's interesting how you manage stress. Like, this is something I like to hear, that you don't see stress as an evil thing or as a bad thing. It's what's moving you sometimes. It's what you're dancing with stress. You're not being a victim of stress. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, stress is not bad. Stress is not bad. Stress is necessary. It's necessary. When you don't have stress, you die. It's like like a living system that stays still is dead. So you have to move, and you have to move because you need things, or you want things, and stress is something that makes you do that. Stress like moves you. Yeah, it's like.
But we are trying to avoid stress sometimes. And is avoiding stress by itself is not a good thing, or by avoiding stress we're moving? So this is one of the big benefits of stress, is it's forcing us to avoid it, so we're moving. Or how do you see it from your way?
You can like train, which is something I think is clever. If you like submit yourself to stress in a way that you don't like reject it, then your like tolerance increases, and then there's always going to be stress, but make your stress worth it. I don't know, like if you're gonna have stress, and there's always gonna be stress, let it be like new kind of stress, not like so
You upgrade yourself.
yeah, you upgrade yourself, and you like submit to stronger stress or different kinds of stress, and so I believe you have to play with stress, you know, to start like
A game.
a game with stress. You know, it's like Go. It's like you have to conversate, like have a conversation with stress, and see which is my comfort, which is my adventure, which is where am I going to move, you know, and stress is always going to come, but now something that might be really stressful before is not anymore. I learned it. I already won that game, you know. Every piece you put implies that I'm not doing something else. You know, if I play here, maybe you can play here. I've seen this magical place with good energy, and my impulse at the beginning was, hey, sell me this house. It was kind of joke, you know, like, I love your house, sell me your house. And then 2 weeks after, he calls and say, go live in my house. And I needed a house. It was like, okay, I'm going to your house.
With it? No, it's really honey smell. I don't know. Different though. Smell.